welcome to my channel once again. It's been a while. Yeah, just a recap of what the positivity that we've actually that I've learned from the critics in Korra'S channel throughout her divorce dilemma and all that. People used to I remember very well how Junie would be like, whatever she doesn't want to eat her mommy's food, she'd be like, it's too spicy, it's too spicy. They're saying that, try to say that the food is too spicy just to run away and that she wouldn't eat it. Then people like, yeah, your food is too spicy, you don't have to give Junie, that is child negligence. You know that as a young mother, I remember my first son when I had him, and I remember very well that I didn't even want to give him anything spicy. And I remember people around me, here in Nigeria, they were like, hey, no, you have to give this child at least spicy food. It doesn't have to be too much, but just be giving him. Let him be taking, he can be eating and be taking water so that he will not get used to it. So coming back and reading all these comments, I was like, wow, I shouldn't have listened to anybody. So spicy food is not really good for the child. Then I now went to Google. I googled. I was like, I was looking at all the side effects, and I was just looking at my kids and how I've been bombarding them with soup and all that, those things. I felt so bad. So that is the number one thing I learned from the critics. The second thing I learned from the critics, they're complaining. I remember Korra went to buy fruits. She went to buy fruits and vegetables at the market, and she came back and she was just using water to wash them. And somebody was like, please use vinegar and salt to wash that. You're so nasty. So I was like, wow, okay. So for it to be neat and clean, you have to use. And then Korra went to the market again the second time, and when she came back, she actually soaked them inside vinegar and salt before she actually washed it. I was like, okay, the girl is also learning. And I remember very well when she used to slice her meat, and then she slice her vegetables in the same cutting board. They'd be like, please buy different cutting board, because we are not slicing your fresh vegetables and fruits on top of the raw meat, Like, wow, I never thought about that. But it really is yuck, because you can't really eat raw meat. Then if you are not going to just wash the cutting board, or maybe just rinse it without really wash it very well, then you actually need 2 cutting boards. So that's one of the things I've learned. And then I've learned cultural difference. But what I don't understand is some Americans will be like, oh, don't eat on the floor with the kids, be on the dining table. I'm like, these people, they are forgetting that there are different cultures. Some people, Arabics, they also eat on the floor. Koreans, they just put a table and they sit on the floor and eat. So it's like some of these people, they're too ignorant. They really need to go out there and learn other people's cultures. But I've actually also learned a lot from them. I remember when Korra wanted to make what was that, honey and baby food, and she wanted to put honey. I don't know whether it was, what was that, apple and honey. What? No, I don't think it was apple, it was something. And then everybody was just telling her, please don't give a baby that is less than a year honey, that it's not good for her. I was like, wow. I've always thought that honey is just a natural thing. It will never harm anybody. It's even good for the kids. Another lesson learned. I've learned so many things. Korra used to cook. She'll make mistakes. People correct her. All those kind of things. I've learned all those things throughout this process. And I've also learned that you can't trust anybody. When it came to Justin's matter, him calling the other lady Flora and telling her everything, even to an extent of telling her Korra and Nancy's phone numbers to the Flora. She's so called Flora, and Flora was meanwhile he didn't even know that Flora was busy recording him. So Justin trusted the wrong people, and Justin was just making up stories. And I learned that sometimes when we are hurt, we don't really have to try and hurt other people, because God will always stand in the gap. And I've learned that persistent, like this is the top one. Persistent really pays. If you check very well, Korra is not really that strong, but she keeps pushing, she keeps working hard. She wakes up in the morning, she faces the day the way it is, and she she holds the bull by the horn. Upon all the situations, upon everything, I've learned that it's not even a good idea to start shouting whenever you're having problem, and be, to have malice against anybody. Whenever they shout, you smile and laugh. I've learned that sometimes whatsoever that people have concluded about you, they'll never change their mind, because I've watched this Korra and Justin so much that every video they made, even the ones that Justin made and used to delete, I watched all of them. I remember when Justin was coming out talking so many things, I believe Justin never ever for once thought that his girlfriend, the Brazilian lady, will come out. He trusted all those people, and he was not talking. Who knows, some of the ladies, they wouldn't want to come out, because why? They don't want their business out there, so they'll just hide and keep quiet. Imagine if everybody was to come out, this would be a dilemma. So I've learned that you shouldn't trust anybody. And then the other thing I've learned, that you should always respect and honor your husband, and you should always read the negative comments, because you can learn a lot from them. Because even the Korra used to like listen whenever they say, I don't like how you treat your husband, I don't like how you respond to your husband, I don't like all those things. And even that she actually read those comments and actually avoided doing those things, her marriage would still be okay. But she felt like, no, I'm going to do myself, I'll do me, I'll do anything I want, that kind of a thing. That's what really happened with Korra. She's like, no. And they say, please respect this guy. Like, no, I can't. I have to do me. After all, Justin knows me. But she didn't know the impact that the whole thing was causing to Justin. Oh, my dog is just barking. I think it's hearing my voice. Okay. So, and then that's about it. I've learned that you shouldn't put your business out there. Solve your problems privately. I mean, looking at all these people, they don't really have a bigger problem like that, but because they just put their business out there, so it's going to be very difficult for them to reconcile. They still have to come and put their business out here and tell the whole world that, guys, we have now reconciled, we are now friends. But and then the last thing that I've learned, me as a mother, I'm so insecure in terms of my kids. I have refused to get a maid or to get anybody that will stay with my kids while I go out house. It's either I'm with them, I go to my business with them. If I'm not going anywhere, I stop. If I go to church, I'll carry everybody, even during the weekdays. I'm always with them. I even got a house help. I don't even trust the house help to be with my kids. I'd rather carry everybody along. Sometimes when I go to the market, I'll carry everybody go. But I've watched Korra, get through this thing. She allowed her husband to stay with the kids. She had help. She had maids that are coming. She has nannies that were coming, that were staying with the kids. And I remember she traveled to Canada and she left her kids with Amy, one of my favorite maids, my favorite nannies that she has ever had. And the kids were just fine, and she went and did her business and she came back, and I'm like, wow, I could actually do this, but I can't. because I've been doing it for so long. So I've now learned, like with my last born, I've now learned that I have to like let go of that anxiety. I have to like trust somebody to actually help. I have to take help. I'm not a weakly, because Korra is a strong woman. She still took help, you know. African women out there, learn to accept and be helped. You can't really handle everything by yourself. I think if I continue stating out the positives I've learned from this divorce, the whole video will be so long.